In this video, we're going to work on solving rational equations, and our objective will be to solve them. Now, we have already simplified, we've multiplied and divided, we've added and subtracted, and now we're going to solve. So the big key here, any equations that contain one or more rational expression is called a rational equation. These equations are often easier to solve once the fractions are eliminated. So how are you going to eliminate them? You're going to eliminate them by multiplying each side of the equation by the least common denominator. Alright, so in this case, our least common denominator, the least common multiple of 6 and 18 is 18. And then I have a factor of an x plus 3. So now I'm going to multiply everything by 18 times x plus 3. And as I distribute this, and I'm going to show this in multiple steps here, so I have 18 times x plus 3 times 4 over x plus 3. Plus, then I have 18, so now I'm taking it times the second one. 18 times x plus 3 times 5 all over 6 equals, now I've got 18 times 23 times x plus 3 all over 18. Now canceling. The x plus 3's would cancel here. That leaves me with 18 times 4, which is 72. Here the 6 goes into 18 3 times, so I have 15 times x plus 3. Here my 18's cancel, so I have 23 times x plus 3. I can distribute. And then combining like terms, I could subtract 15x from both sides, give me 8x. If I subtract 69 from both sides, that would give me 48. And so x would be 6. And if you check that into the equation, that would make it true. This next example, my least common denominator, the least common multiple of 18 and 48 is, or 12 and 48 is 48, and I've got the factor of x minus 4. So now I'm going to multiply everything by that. As I do this, now I'm going to do this a little bit more efficiently here. I'm not showing all of the steps here, but in this first example, when I do this multiplication, the 12 and the 48 would cancel. 12 goes into 48 4 times, so I have 4 times x minus 4 times 7. As I do the second multiplication, this one right here, you can see the x minus 4's would cancel, and I would have 48 times 9. And then as I distribute it here, you can see the 48's would cancel, and I would have 55 times x minus 4. So if you're able to do it without writing everything out, a little bit more efficient. So 4 times 7 is 28. 48 times 9, I believe, is 432. Distribute the 55. Distributing this 28, that's 112. Combining like terms, if I subtract 28x from both sides, that's 27x. If I add 220 to both sides, I believe that gives me 540. So x would be 20. And that would check in your answer. Last example here involves some polynomials. So again, as we've done before, we want to factor everything completely. This first one I could take a 3 out. This one I could take a 4 out. And the last one I could take a 2 out. So now my least common denominator would be 12. That's the least common multiple of 3, 4, and 2. And I need an n plus 1 and an n minus 1. So therefore I'm going to multiply this entire equation by that least common denominator. As I do this first multiplication, the 3 and the 12 cancel, giving me 4. The n plus 1's cancel, so I'm left with n minus 1 times the 7n. Minus, in this second example, 4 and the 12 cancel to give me 3. The n minus 1's cancel, leave me with n plus 1 times the 5. And then distributing through here, the 2 and the 12 gives me 6. The n plus 1's cancel to give me n minus 1, and I have 3n. So here I've got 28n times n minus 1 minus 15 times n plus 1 equals 18n times n minus 1. Distributing 28n squared minus 28n minus 15n minus 15 equals 18n squared minus 18n. And now you can see that we have a quadratic equation. I'd like you, for your code word, to show that you're watching this video, on your assignment by your name, if you could just write the word quadratic, that would be outstanding, and show me you're watching these. So now we've got to get everything to equal 0. Subtract 18n squared, which would be 10n squared. I could add 18n to both sides. That would give me a negative 25n minus the 15. If I take a 5 out of all of this, I would have taking a 5 out, I'd have 2n squared minus 5n minus 3. Factoring this, I'd have 2n and n, and using trial and error. 3 and 1 are my only factors. If I put a 3 here and a 1 there, that's 6n, and 1n, I need a minus 5. And therefore my solutions would be a negative 1/2, because that makes this 0, and a positive 3. So I hope this helps in completing your assignment for today. Please, if you've got questions, bring those forward to me. Email me. Message me through Schoology. Watch or attend a Google Meet and get the help that you need. Thanks, and have a great day.